Has anyone ever told you that life after 70 can be a real challenge? Even the toughest, most self-reliant folks can find themselves caught off guard. In this video, we're diving into 5 tough and unexpected truths that hit hard once you reach your 70s. These aren't just the obvious physical changes or numbers on your doctor's chart. They're deeper, subtler shifts in how people treat you, how you perceive time, and how your memories start to quietly slip or change. Things you might not have noticed before. Some of these you may have felt but struggled to put into words. Others might catch you by surprise, but they all share one thing: they shape how we experience aging. Stick with us until the end, because while these changes may feel heavy, understanding them can bring peace, purpose, and even a renewed sense of strength. There's something profoundly comforting about naming what you're going through and realizing you're not alone. Let's dive in. First, your social circle starts to shrink. One of the first realities that hits after turning 70 is that your social world gets smaller, sometimes a lot smaller. You might still get the occasional phone call or see friends now and then, but there's no denying it, the frequency changes, and more importantly, so does the vibe. What used to feel like the natural flow of friendships and connections can start to feel patchy, even fragile. Friends retire and move away, get sick, or pass on. Family members are caught up in their own busy lives. You might not even notice it first, but suddenly you're spending more time in quiet than in conversation. This isn't about bitterness, it's about being real. After 70, people don't always talk about how tough it is to keep those connections alive. You notice fewer invites, visits get spaced out, and even if you're not someone who craves constant company, the silence starts to speak louder than you expected. You might find yourself getting nostalgic more often, not just because you're reminiscing, but as a way to keep the people you love close, even if it's only in your memories. The laughter you shared, the little routines you took for granted, they feel like treasures now. There's nothing wrong with feeling this way. It's not a sign of weakness or even loneliness in the usual sense. It's just a quiet adjustment almost everyone faces, but no one really prepares you for it. That's why holding on to an emotional connection with yourself, your story, or even just 1 or 2 people becomes more important than ever. Because when the crowd thins out, the depth of a few true connections means everything. Second, small health issues can turn into big problems. One thing that often surprises people in their 70s is that even small health hiccups aren't so small anymore. A minor cold might linger longer than it used to. A bruise could take weeks to fade. A little stumble that you'd have shrugged off by noon in your younger years might now sideline you for weeks, maybe even requiring physical therapy or surgery. It's not just that your body slows down. The real issue is that your body's ability to bounce back gets less reliable. The margin for error shrinks, and something as simple as forgetting to drink enough water or skipping a meal can throw you off balance. You can still feel strong, and in many ways, you are. But your resilience doesn't work on autopilot like it did when you were younger. What used to happen without effort now demands your attention, care, and patience. And this shift isn't something people talk about much. Friends, family, even your doctor might brush it off or say it's just part of getting older. But you feel the difference. You notice the weight of every recovery. You sense your energy dipping lower than before. The challenge isn't just physical, it's mental, too. There's a frustration that comes with it, a sense that your body isn't your ally like it used to be. If you've always prided yourself on being active, tough, or independent, this change can feel like a betrayal. But here's the truth: this awareness is actually a strength. When you start noticing how your body responds, you can adapt. You can slow down without giving up. You can make small changes, rest more, hydrate, be kinder to yourself. This stage of life isn't about proving anything. It's about preserving the strength you still have by not taking it for granted. Sometimes, the strongest thing you can do is give yourself time to heal. If you're still watching and finding this helpful, please drop the number 2 in the comments to let me know you're here. If you haven't subscribed yet, I'd love for you to hit that subscribe button and tap the bell so you don't miss any new videos. Your support keeps us creating content to inform and inspire you. Now, let's keep going. Third, The quiet loss of presence in social settings. One of the most unsettling changes when you hit your 70s is how easily people start to overlook you. Not out of malice, but because of a subtle cultural shift no one really talks about. You walk into a room and the energy just doesn't feel the same. You speak, and sometimes people interrupt not because they're trying to be rude, but because they assume you're finished. You might catch yourself repeating things, waiting longer to be heard, or feeling invisible in group settings, even among your own family. This isn't just about being ignored. It's a slow erosion of your presence in a world that moves fast and obsesses over youth more than ever. And few people are ready for this reality. You might feel like the world sees your age before it sees you, like your stories. Your thoughts, your wisdom get brushed aside, even though they carry more weight than ever. You've lived, loved, and lost. Yet sometimes you feel like your presence is just quiet. This can stir up all kinds of emotions, sadness, frustration, even a subtle grief. But there's power in recognizing this for what it is. It's not a reflection of your worth, it's a reflection of a culture that forgets to listen to older adults. You are not invisible. The world might not always notice you first, but your voice still matters. The people who take the time to really hear you, who sit down and listen to your stories, your humor, your memories, they're the ones who count. They're listening, even if it takes them a little longer to catch up. So don't pull back. Don't let silence define you. Share what you've seen, what you've been through. Be the quiet strength that reminds everyone what dignity, depth, and true resilience look like. You might not always be the loudest voice in the room, but you're the most experienced, and that carries more weight than most people realize. Fourth, your daily world starts to feel smaller. One of the hardest parts of aging past 70 isn't just what's happening inside your body, it's the quiet shrinking of what's outside. Your world, once bustling with familiar faces and places, starts to feel smaller. It's not all at once, but bit by bit. You might notice you are going out less, not because you don't want to, but because everything feels farther away, harder, or just plain exhausting. Friends you used to visit have moved, gotten sick, or passed away. Neighbors change. That favorite diner down the street, it's gone or just not the same. Your world isn't falling apart, it's gently contracting. And there's an emotional weight to that. At first, loneliness might feel like just a little quiet here and there, but over time, it can grow heavier, even for the most independent people. There's something disorienting about watching the familiar slowly slip out of reach. It's not that you don't want to stay active, but everything feels more distant, more challenging, or more tiring. The friends you used to meet up with have moved, fallen ill, or passed on. New neighbors move in. Your go-to coffee shop changes hands. Your world doesn't collapse, it just quietly shrinks. That shift carries an emotional toll. At first, loneliness might feel like background noise, but over time, it can weigh on you. Even the most self-sufficient among us can feel rattled watching familiar things fade. But there's power in naming this feeling and realizing it's not weakness, it's grief. It's the natural sadness of watching chapters close. It doesn't mean you've given up, it means you care. Here's the truth: even as your old world shrinks, a new one can still grow. That growth might not come from big adventures or cross-country trips. It can come from a meaningful conversation, a new friendship with someone younger, or sharing your story in ways you haven't before. Your world doesn't need to be huge to be rich. It just needs to feel alive. So call that friend, even if they're far away. Join that local book club, even if it's virtual. Take a short walk, even if it's just around the block. Your world might look different, but it's not over. It's still growing, and there's still room for meaning. If you're still watching and finding this helpful, please drop the number 4 in the comments to let me know you're here. If you haven't subscribed yet, I'd love for you to subscribe and hit the bell so you don't miss any new videos. Your support helps us keep making content to inform and inspire you. Now, let's move on. Fifth, the unpredictability of your own body. After 70, your body starts sending mixed signals, often at the worst moments. One day, you wake up feeling sharp, steady, ready to take on the day. The next, you're sluggish, foggy, wondering why your knees are acting up, or why your hands can't grip your coffee mug like they used to. What makes this hard isn't just the physical inconvenience, it's the sense of betrayal. You've lived in this body your whole life. You trusted it, and now it's changing the rules without warning. You might plan a morning walk, only to be hit with unexpected fatigue. You bend down to tie your shoes and realize it takes longer to get back up. Or maybe you get dizzy, stiff, or feel a strange numbness that comes and goes without explanation. But here's what nobody talks about. This unpredictability doesn't just limit your movement, it shakes your confidence. Suddenly you hesitate before heading out, not because you can't, but because you're not sure what your body will do. That uncertainty can make you feel smaller, more fragile, even cautious in situations where you used to feel in control. And that's totally understandable. But here's a truth that can help. Your body might not be as reliable as it once was, but how you respond to it can be your new strength. Flexibility becomes your power. Adaptability becomes your shield. You learn to prepare, adjust, and give yourself grace without giving up. You start listening more closely, resting when you need to, stretching, talking to your doctor not just when something's wrong, but to stay one step ahead. Knowledge, even in the face of unpredictability, gives you a sense of control. So, no, your body might not be as steady as it used to be, but with all your experience and awareness, you're still calling the shots. If you're still watching and finding this helpful, please drop the number 4 in the comments to let me know you're here. If you haven't subscribed yet, I encourage you to subscribe and hit the bell so you don't miss any new videos. Your support helps us keep creating content to inform and inspire you. Now, let's wrap up. One final thought. We've just walked through 5 tough realities that often come after age 70. Each one catches us off guard in its own way. They quietly change how we experience the world, from friendships that grow fragile to physical changes that surprise us. These shifts can leave us feeling unprepared. But here's the truth. Recognizing these changes doesn't mean surrendering to decline. It means facing life with eyes wide open so you can live more fully, wisely, and freely. What hit home for you of these 5 realities? Have you noticed any in your own life or in someone close to you? We'd love to hear from you. Please leave a comment below and share one insight you took away from this video and how you plan to respond to it. Whether it's letting go of guilt, reconnecting with someone you've drifted from, or being gentler with your body, your story might inspire someone else. Because aging doesn't mean losing your value, it means gaining depth. And when we face these truths together, we don't just strengthen ourselves, we lift each other up. Thank you for joining us today. We can't wait to hear from you. Please drop a comment below and share one thing you learned today. It means the world to us. So don't hold back. Reading your comments fuels our motivation and keeps us going. If you found this video helpful, please like, subscribe, and share. Your support helps us keep creating content that informs and inspires you. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.